Okay, so these ships is funded by a pact between Indicidia and the LIA.
It's $1 billion operation, if more than trillions.
The operation we confronted right now is an urban field concentration arena. It's a development. The people that are kidnapped are forced to work in hazardous conditions, but it's an experiment to toughen the slaves up for space labor.
Be a slave captive long enough, you will see where they're at condition-wise.
First they started doing it to ex-celestials and marginalized communities. Now space slave labor applies to everyone.
They trying to create a new plantation.
Cosmic plantation.
Looks like it. That's why we need to cut off the battery command carrier.
Okay, so we need to isolate the ship. If one can go off course, the others will be thrown off.
Now I'm starting to see what you're saying.
Already? I mean, I just got myself adjusted.
Well, readjust.
Wait up, what about the slaves? Shouldn't we?
I changed my mind about the slaves.
Why?
Because I can.
Dude, we're making progress.
Do you know how this makes me and her feel?
Say what? Okay.
Russell, this ain't okay. Do you know how this makes me feel, Russell? Do you know how this makes me feel, Yoshito? What's going on?
My family throughout generations used to tell stories about the horrors of slavery. Stories told to me, one of the current of my family line. And now in the future, people used to make metaphors about the return of this atrocity. I would always say no. That can't happen again. Now it's worse than ever. It's happening to everyone, not just one margin. And what am I doing? Jumping into action, liberating people from danger while I run towards it. Space of all places. Confidence. When I should be afraid out of my mind. I'm just nervous. About what?
Forgetting. All this brave and bold can make you forget who you are. And that's what bothers me. When I fell in love with you, it was not about what you could do. I just fell in love with you. To be scared is to be human and to be real. And not only does that matter to me, but you matter to me.
Kari and Silver. Kari, I want you to know, no matter the struggle or the storm, I am with you all the way. I put that on my life. You are one of the bravest leaders I know. You took us here. Being here is something I never pictured I would be conscious to see and live. The stars. But this was your love, your passion for freedom that brought us here. And I'm honored to call you family. Both of you. All of you.
Thanks.
Alright, any loose ends? Well, I can review the control panel, if you're up.
Other than that, we wait for Chronic.
Once this affected us too, the three of us trio got back together again. We started training, improving, changing, upgrading.
Leveling up.
The first mission was to scout the prisons. The first one we arrived at, we noticed something concerning.
It was a military camp. So we thought with a widespread panic, the prisons would be empty, and we could have used the abandoned prisons as a way to meditate and count how many we will be up against. But it was the opposite.
They were military fortresses sending fanatical prisoners out into the world to infiltrate and create havoc, so we realized we had to destroy the military prison fortresses.
We basically had to free the prisoners. Some who didn't need to be imprisoned,
and some men who deserved to be dead.
So what do you think?
Well, if I'd known better, I could have sworn some of the controls have a back rig. You know, like a tripwire.
One false move? That's not good.
I mean, I'm not saying if you reroute the ship's course without administrator permission, it's gonna blow up the ship with a hack.
But if you hack the ship will blow up basically.
I mean, you will trigger some kind of security alert.
Either way, the wrong move and will be turned into space dust.
I mean, I work with technology all the time. I invested into it, whether it be nanotech, cybernetics. All of those resources are what made our operations so successful.
And you haven't used them in a crisis?
Not a crisis like this. It's basically cosmic tech. Systems, language, I mean, you want somebody who knows what they're doing.
So there's a certain crisis level event, huh?
Well, one thing's for sure. They sink the manhunt. This is Indicidia. We got a lot of people down there wandering around.
It's obvious. If you ask me what to do with them, don't.
I ain't. So you already know what comes next?
I ain't even studying this shit. What's next? All this old space shit? Star shit in it.
All this shit ain't. Maybe bigger, but it ain't the end all be all.
Put the mugs out. Let's see how small their ass really is. I ain't even tripping. Did all that old inside dive training. That shit didn't even matter. You need more. Without that, what am I talking about? Wasn't even close.
Well, you said we here. Here we is. How's Yoshido? I mean, I see him. But seeing him don't mean that's how he is.
Just like him. I mean, like y'all, he was skeptic, but he was supportive. What about Locke?
Still guilty. But he getting by.
If I was speaking for you, I had to trip about what's going on.
You was. But you still my sister.
Good looking out.
I know you don't agree with what we did or what we're doing. But if you saw what their forces were doing to these inmates, you would have felt the compassion, had the same empathy, because it was barbaric. And the criminals who deserve to be punished? Every life may be worth saving. But you hunt them down and kill them if they are not doing anything valuable with their lives. We're responsible for them. Then we need to take responsibility after the choice we gave them. You know there's another way, right?
Always. And always open to it.
So this mean you in? You bet?
Let's do it.
Alright, so I took a look at the panels. I'm pretty sure if I gently rearrange the items in what I believe is the containment vault, then that should protect us from an internal attack.
Pretty sure?
Well, like I told you guys earlier, these Indicidia artifacts, I mean, from the looks of what I saw, one looked like a room full of engine gliders, and the one on tier 8 looks like some sort of cooling turbine, and that is the main engine on the one below the utility lobby.
Well, I'm pretty sure one of the artifacts provide oxygen. One false move can end up cutting it off. It won't even need a security alert. You think you up for it?
I don't see any other options. Hey, there might be another or more.
Why is that?
Because Chronic and the others have just arrived.